I'm joined by Nate Kelly ahead of his PFL Europe debut. Just speaking there, just over a week away. Nate, we got the Christmas tree up. We're approaching the festive season. You got a big fight before it. How are things doing?
All good, yeah, all good. I'm not really too focused on Christmas now, just focused on next week, and then it's a nice time because after that I can get to celebrate and take some time off and enjoy the Christmas period. Yeah, can't wait.
Exactly. And I think what's quite noticeable at this is I believe you're, one of the few amateurs to fight for the PFL. The likes of Muhammad Ali's grandson, Biagio Ali Walsh, was recently in action. And no surprise, you're one of the stars of the show because you got a big following behind you. And I'm sure you're just sort of buzzing to get out there in your first big fight for a big promotion, right?
Yeah, I can't wait. It feels like a lifetime of work just culminating to this moment. Like I've been training since I'm a little kid. Since I've been able to walk, basically, I've been training, I've been fighting, and it just feels like all those years of hard work has led up to this moment now, and it's kind of the start of something special, and that's my mentality behind this one. It's the start of something special. Hopefully, something special with the PFL, and then obviously something special with my career going forward as well. And I'm really ready to go now. I'm ready to rock. I just if the fight was tomorrow, I'd be happy. So.
Hmm. And obviously, you've got, like I mentioned, there are lots of attention because of the poster behind me, the UFC 189 poster that went viral. But we'll get into that in a bit. But first, I want to sort of just get into what you touched on there. Is when I speak to someone for the first time, I like to go back to what you just said. Is when you walked into the gym as a young boy. So sort of just take me back to what age that was. We all know you started out very young, but what that first experience was like. And I believe you're 19 now, so it's been well over like 10 years of experience already, right?
Yeah, it's been 15 years now since I first started martial arts, and it's not even like I started and was on and off. It's been 15 years non-stop, like ever since my first session. I don't even think I took a day off. Like I've always been obsessed with the sport, and it's just been a lifetime of hard work. Like I started kickboxing when I was 4 years of age. I could just barely walk at that stage, and I was in already fighting people. And then after that, 3 years later, I joined SBG, for grappling and MMA and stuff like that. And it's the same there. I haven't taken a day off since. So it's been literally 15 years of hard work to lead up to this moment. And it's been non-stop work for all those 15 years. Do you know what I mean? It's not been like I've been taking time off or anything like that. It's just been 100% commitment ever since I'm a little kid. Yeah.
Mm. You mentioned there the kickboxing. I believe you're five-time national kickboxing champion, European and world titles, BJJ purple belt under John Kavanagh. Is there any sort of notable feats that I've missed? Because even though this is your PFL debut, you've already achieved so much at such a young age.
It's 15 time kickboxing champion now. Actually, it used to be five, and now it's 15. So
There we go.
15 time champion. Then obviously world champion in kickboxing, European champion in kickboxing, European champion in jiu-jitsu as well, and then purple belt in jiu-jitsu under John Kavanagh, and then a black belt in kickboxing in TMA as well. So I have played in a lifetime of experience already, and I'm only 19, so I'm just excited to see what the future holds now.
Mm. I mentioned five-time because I remember that's when you
Yeah,
told me
yeah,
as
yeah.
a young boy you mentioned it on the microphone. So in between what that was over 8 years ago now, you've got 10 more under your
Yeah,
belt. So it's
yeah.
not certainly like you've been slacking, right? You've got 10 more since then. So I'm sure, like
Yeah.
you said, you've done so much at this stage, and now it's just going out there for the PFL and showing people what you're about.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like this is a great platform for me to go out there and show my lifetime of hard work. Like, do you know what I mean? It's almost it feels like a celebration for me. Like, do you know what I mean? This is I'm not really looking at it for a fight. Like, there's a lot of pressure on me. Like, I'm just excited. This feels like a celebration. Do you know what I mean? It feels like I can go out there, make everybody proud that has supported me since I'm a kid. Everybody that's believed in me, like that first picked me up when I was hopped on the mic and start saying I'm gonna be this and that. Like, do you know what I mean? This is like a celebration for all them people, for myself. That's what it feels like. Do you know what I mean? It's people are talking about pressure and stuff like that, but I don't really feel any pressure. It almost feels like it's gonna be a party on December 8th. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm just excited to get in there and just showcase what I can do.
Mm. You mentioned pressure, and sometimes when obviously we're younger, we feel less pressure. Do you remember when you were 11 and you got on the mic there in front of all those people? Do you remember feeling that at all, or did you just sort of want to state your claim to Dana to let him know who you were?
But no, it's like when you're a kid, you don't really think about things and the consequences that your actions have. Like, do you know what I mean? Every action we take always has a consequence. And mine was blown up on the internet. Then after that, being hounded for the next 8 years of my life. But I'm delighted that I done it though. Do you know what I mean? Looking back on it now, it's obviously put me in the position that I'm in today, and I feel like I'm at the stage now where I can show that both go hand in hand. Of course, I can hop on a mic and I can talk in front of loads of people, but I can also go out there and fight and the whole package. And I feel like now I'm at the stage of where I can have these big fights and these moments and in the tree arena, and I can show people like that. Yeah, I'm a great talker, but what I really do and what I really do well as well is fighting. So it's nice. Yeah, it's nice.
Mm. I can only speak from my own point of view because I remember watching that press conference. I just started sort of covering MMA very, very early, and I think the difference with you is, a lot of people say, "Oh, Dana, do this, Dana, sign me," but at that point, you again, I still mentioned there, you're a five-time, champion, so you had experience. I think a lot
Yeah.
of people were coming to your page even as the age of 11, saying, "Wow, this guy probably is the next big thing," and now 8 years later, you've proved that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I feel like it's almost like manifestation. Like really, like even when I was a kid, like it was I didn't understand what any of that stuff was, of course, but I was speaking it into reality almost. Like I was saying, I am this and I'm gonna be this, and I was always that type of mentality that I had. And then obviously later on in the years, and especially now, it's like I've really taken that on board, like that manifestation, and it's like I've always like said it out loud, and I've always pictured it in my head that I'll be in these certain moments and I'll have these big fights and I'll be able to do such great things. And it's just that's what I've been saying is that it feels like it's almost happened already because I've seen it so many times and I've spoken it out loud so many times. And it just feels like another day almost because for me it's nothing new. Like I know that I'm where I'm meant to be right now. It's not like that. I don't have that imposter syndrome where like, oh my God, what's happening? It's like this is right. Like I've pictured this and I've said it out loud and I'm where I'm meant to be.
Mm. Back then, the PFL didn't even exist, right? I think it was World Series of Fight, and then they rebranded in 2018. So now you're making their debut for them. They've had a great year with the likes of Francis signing them, Jake signed them. They hand out millions. They handed out $6 million last week. What was your sort of
Yeah.
decision to sign with PFL? Because the Europe card has got so many good upcoming fighters like yourself on this one, and it's only sort of onwards and upwards for the PFL, right?
Yeah, it's I think it's just such a great opportunity for me to work with such an amazing company. Like the stuff that they're doing is really intriguing. I was a fan of the PFL before they even came and approached me. Like I enjoyed watching the fights, and I thought the format of the fights, the way they lay it out, like over the tournament period, I thought that was very interesting. Like that, when you're gonna fight throughout the year, and then there's gonna be a big bag of cash at the end of it with a world title belt. So that's obviously intriguing for me as well. But as soon as they came knocking and they kind of were talking about having me on the card and a contract going forward or whatever stuff like that, I knew that it was the right decision. Do you know what I mean? Like especially so early on in my career, to get these opportunities, it's amazing, and I'm really thankful and grateful to the PFL for giving me this opportunity and this platform to showcase my skills.
Mm. It's no stranger for, PFL guys to come from SPG as well. I think Fran's there. I think even Will Flurry was on the main circuit. So for yourself, it's quite a common staple now for the guys at the gym. You probably had some chats with them, and I'm guessing you've only really heard good things about things going forward with the PFL.
Yeah, no, of course. My name mate as well, Nathan Kelly is on the card, and Franz, and then Valentina and Franz are both in the final. So there's all four of us have been training like obviously together the whole camp, and it's a nice little buzz then to have your teammates on the same cards and stuff, and in the same promotion and thing. It's nice like to have the guys around as well. Obviously, they're a bit older and more experienced, so it's good that they're kind of taking me under the wing and stuff like that as well.
Mm. And I mentioned obviously everyone knows you from the press conference, but for a lot of people watching, this will be the first time, unless they've tuned into the amateur stuff with the likes of them, as this will be the first time they're actually watching you fight, for such a big promotion. So for those who know how you are on the mic, but they might not have seen you fight, what can they sort of expect? Because we know that the kickboxing and the grappling credentials now, but how does that sort of play into your fighting style? What can people expect to see when you step in there?
It's like when I hop on the mic, you know what I mean? It's gonna be exciting. I'm gonna put on a show. I'm gonna say something crazy, whatever it is. It's the same thing when I go out there to fight. I'm not going out there to win. I've said it before. I'm going out there to put on a show. Like I'm gonna give the fans their money worth. I'm not going out there to just to try hold on for 3 rounds and to get me hand raised. Of course, I'm going out there to get me hand raised, but I want to do it in spectacular fashion. I want to put on a show and I want to add them to my highlight reel and make this a highlight reel finish.
Mm. And your opponent, Callum Seaton, I think more of the focus is on you, and given that you almost have a bit of like a target on your back, and he probably wants to be the one derail that say like, oh, McGregor can't help you, and just sort of getting under your skin a bit. But for you, I don't know how you approach fights. I know Conor would try and get in his opponent's head, but for you, is it more of a case of look, I don't even care who it is across from me. The focus is on me, and I don't care who he is or what he says. I'm going out there and I'm only focused on myself. Is that sort of how you look at it or not?
It's the same as everybody else. Who are they focusing on? Do you know what I mean? Nobody cares about this guy. I don't know who the guy is. I don't care about him. He can say whatever he wants. He can think whatever he wants. He can think, I'm gonna be 110% tonight, and I'm gonna go out and try to steal his moment. But there's absolutely no chance that he walks into that arena and gets his hand raised and is really done. Going to make sure of that. I don't really care about the guy. I haven't really watched too much about him. He's a bit boring. He's a bit ugly, and I'm gonna put him away very, very early. And there's absolutely zero chance that he comes in to the Tree Arena, my hometown, my backyard, and takes my moment away from me. This is my moment. That's what it's being built up for. He's not the reason that he's fighting on this card is because of me, and he should just be happy for that and go on his merry way after the December 8th after he gets his ass whooped. Yeah.
Talk to me a bit about the Emmas in the summer because I know it's quite an intense format. I don't know if you've done any sort of like grappling competition since then, or that was the sort of last activity because it's like I said, it's the Four Nations thing is intense stuff. So how was that experience, and is that sort of the last time you were in competition, so to speak, or have you done anything else since then?
Yeah, that was the last time I fought. Obviously, I had two fights over 2 days, and then having to make weight both days it was very hectic. So I'm kind of enjoying this one a bit more. That I only have to focus on one guy, like do you know what I mean? And it's easy. Like day before weigh in, focus on one guy. It feels so much easier after doing that type of tournament format. But it's great preparation. Like do you know what I mean? Having to fight two people in 2 days back to back and making weight both days, and it was very good preparation for a moment like this to where I only have to focus on one guy on one night making weight once, it's a lot easier than doing that tournament format.
Mm. With amateur, I was talking to Biagio about this, and he was, sort of having the chat that he's in no rush to do it. But obviously, you're only a couple of fights into the AMI career. But with the turn to pro, when do you sort of have those conversations with your coach? I don't know if it's something you've discussed because it's sort of there's no sort of really, map laid out for it. So is it a case of
Yeah.
you're in no rush? You're 19, you want to just get as many fights under your belt, and then you'll do it when your coaches are ready, or is it sort of you would propose the idea to your coaches? How do you look at that sort of amateur to professional switch?
I feel like for me it might be a bit different because I have so much experience fighting. It's obviously a very different game, MMA, when you have to piece everything together. And I think I'm just gonna go off how I feel in there, like how comfortable I feel in there, like how my performances are. Because the thing is that I feel my performances haven't reflected how good I am because like in the gym and then stepping into the cage, and it's like it's kind of trying to piece everything together now because I have so much different experience and different competition, and it's now trying to see what works and what aspects of MMA, and it's like a big puzzle I'm trying to figure out. So I think when I get a few more pieces of the puzzle, when I feel a bit more comfortable in there, and we'll just go from that. And of course, I still have a lot of time to grow into the weight class as well. I'm still a little bit of a small flyweight, but I think when I start getting a bit bigger, start lifting more weights, and I don't know. I'll see. I want maybe next year I'll take another run at amateur, and then we'll be looking at pro, or maybe one more fight and then I'll just go pro, see what happens. I don't know.
Mm. You mentioned it there. It's like when you get into the sport so young, you could be in a different weight class come this point next year. You're only 19. You don't know how your body's going to go. Is that something that you sort of embrace? Like you could be stepping up each year almost. Who knows? You might end up at like 145, 155 in the space of a matter of few years, right?
Yeah. See, I've already outgrown my mom, my dad, like for a small family, so I think I might be stuck at about 5'7" for a while. And that's being generous. I'm 5'7", so I don't know, but yeah, I still have to fill out. I still have to get my management and all, obviously, of course. So I don't know. I think because they cut the flyweight now is like basically I don't cut whatsoever. So I think in a few years' time I'll probably be able to just have to cut a bit more weight to get down the flyweight rather than going up. But maybe when I do go professional, I might be bantamweight or something. I'll see how my body develops over the next few years and stuff like that.
Mm. Obviously, because your name will forever be linked to him, I've got to ask, what was sort of Conor's reaction? I'm guessing for him it was quite a nice moment too, because he probably still sees you as this boy that was with him so long ago, and now you're fighting on a major promotion. It's quite nice for him to see. I don't think he will be there because I think he's actually welcoming another child, hope for in the coming days with D.
Yeah.
I'm sure the reaction for him was quite nice. You probably spoke to him, and it's good for him to see yourself getting in such a big opportunity, right?
Yeah, he was over the moon. He texted me as soon as it was announced, and as soon as he seen the posts and stuff going up, he was texting me back and forth, and he was delighted for me. Like he was delighted for me, my mom, my family, everybody. And I think he's always supported me since I'm a kid. Like, do you know what I mean? If I was in the gym, I'd be wrecking his head out in the spar or train or whatever, and he'd never turn me down. But he's always supported me, and I know that I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in today if it wasn't for Conor. Like no fighter would be, because MMA, especially in Europe and in Ireland, and for me especially, he's taken it to that next level. So it's always that type of appreciation for what he's done for the sport, for the gym, for Ireland, for MMA as a whole. And yeah, he was obviously over the moon for me, and he's coming on board to support me as well with the Force Irish Stout. So he's always backed me, and I'm very grateful to have somebody like that in your corner.
And finally, fans, fighters, media like myself, we're all almost waiting on his comeback. Everyone's sort of saying it's UFC 300, then it might be delayed to the summer. But if it is Chandler, as people are expecting, a lot of people are sort of saying, I think it's going to be similar to the Mendes fight. Do you see it that way, or how do you sort of see his matchup with Chandler going?
I think Conor like kind of suits him best against guys like that. You know what I mean? Like small, stocky wrestlers. He's fought a few of them, and every time he has, he's put them out. And I think it'll be the same. He seems hungry now. He's motivated for this comeback, and I think he'll make short work of Chandler, and then it's on to even more fights then next year. I think we'll get hopefully a few fights next year. And obviously, as a fan myself, like I'm a fan first, and I can't wait to see him make the return to the octagon. I think it's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah.